Jeremy Davis, after all the harm that you have done to this nation, it is time for you to die.
Before you shoot me, let me tell you a little bit about how I got here. I was never supposed to make it out of Greenwood, Mississippi. It's not as if I ever felt myself to be in dire danger or the environment to be especially unkind. It simply was not that sort of town. It was just southern, humid, maybe slightly racist, and most of all, poor. Many times my mother and I could not afford electricity, so our power would be cut off. We could not afford a car, so I biked a few miles to school every weekday, and when my bike broke down, we could not afford a new one, so I proceeded to walk a few miles to school every single weekday. Life was certainly not easy, but we carried on. We made do with what we had and relished every joyful moment that God bestowed upon us. We tried our best to find humor in the tough times. Although Greenwood was a poor bunch of people, we were a community that formed unshakable bonds together. I distinctly remember the cookouts my family and neighbors would have, the seasoning on the food mostly. Ever since I departed Greenwood for the white establishment, I've never had food with that much seasoning again. My mother's parents were from Greenwood, as were their parents, as were their parents. The occasional actor or star athlete would have the luxury of leaving for more coastal glamour, but my mother had always dreamt of raising a successful businessman. She stressed that my own education and natural ingenuity would be my ticket to the American dream. I remember when I was 14 years old, my mother, hopelessly sick with terminal breast cancer, told me her dying wish.
Jermaine, I want you to create something that will change the fabric of the world.
Certainly no small task for a kid from Greenwood. After for years of working odd jobs and relentlessly applying myself academically to fulfill my mother's dying wish, I earned an SAT score in the 94th percentile. It was Greenwood High School's highest score in decades and enough to earn me a scholarship to the hallowed Princeton University. Nobody in my family tree had been out of Mississippi, let alone to Princeton. Although I was welcomed with congeniality there, I always felt out of my element. There were these pompous kids narrowly trained from childhood to succeed as a doctor or lawyer. And then there was me. Spending years in the company of those pompous kids, I began to develop a duly need individually to not only succeed in this incredibly unforgiving capitalist game by amassing great fortunes, but to be so successful to the point where my Princeton classmates would become my employees. I knew that from now on, I needed to disavow my Mississippi roots and forge a new path forward. I was no longer Jermaine. I was Jeremy. After 4 grueling years of binge drinking sessions, memorizing charts, partying, and mathematics, I, Jeremy Davis, could now signal to investment banks that I would be an effective and willing bitch for them with my economics degree from Princeton. But the year was 2000. The dot-com and venture capital frenzy was intensifying by the day. If I took the easy road to investment banking then, I would maybe never have the opportunity to receive so much money from clueless investors again. I needed a startup and quick. I decided out of the blue that my life's passion, so to speak, was to start an email marketing agency, which I would name Keymail.com. I raised $5 million in seed stage funding after sharing Keymail's pitch with willing investor after willing investor, and was on my way to run a business that I knew nothing about. A recipe for success indeed. I hired a few of my friends from Princeton who specialized in computer science, and they brought in a few of their Wharton amigos, and after about a year, Keymail's exponential growth was in its incipient phase.
Speed this shit up already, goddamn.
All right. We were the largest sharks in the sea, and investors knew that, providing us with tens of millions of dollars to expand to television and later social media. And by 2011, Keymail had its IPO at a valuation of $1 billion. Anyways, although we had the budding brand name allowing us to appeal to new clients and investors, our advertising effectiveness was actually quite lukewarm. Because of this, I felt that in order for us to remain competitive, we needed to really dig into the subconscious of the consumer. That was it. Hypnosis was the answer. If we could fund hypnosis research and eventually hypnotize television viewers over 30-second ad spots to purchase our clients' products, I would be able to make an indelible mark in marketing history and a lot more money.
In 2022, Jeremy Davis made an infamous, yet indelible mark in marketing history. 110 million were tuned into Super Bowl 52 to watch the Lions square off against the Falcons when the fateful advertisement appeared.
After the game, you will not want to miss our brand new singing competition show where the biggest artists of tomorrow will be discovered. K-pop icon, only on NBC.
100 million of the 110 million Super Bowl viewers tuned into K-pop icon that night, and a new legion of K-pop stans were born. K-pop became so prosperous that everyone just stopped listening to the American music stars. The American music industry experienced such a loss in prosperity that Drake and Future took fast food jobs in Jay-Z.
Jeremy.
And here I am after years of building my baby unicorn business. What do I have to show for afterlife dedicated to accumulating capital? I've relinquished my roots name, moral, and now my life. If I could turn back the clock all these years, would I do it all again?
Keymail's unbelievably valuable hypnosis intellectual property catapulted them to a $500 billion market capitalization. Jeremy Davis had done it. He had climbed the mountain of success all the way from its trough to its zenith.